Happy New Year, everyone! Welcome to my first video of 2013. Today I wanted to do a video that I thought would be really helpful for everyone, where I'm going to show you how to create a very kind of natural everyday makeup look. And the way I was kind of thinking about it was a look for someone who doesn't wear makeup or isn't into wearing a lot of makeup, maybe just getting into makeup. So this can be useful for many different people. And it's all about kind of enhancing your natural beauty and your features. I know a lot of people have told me they don't really wear a lot of makeup, and when they do, they just feel completely overly made up. They don't feel themselves and they don't feel comfortable. So this look is really going to be for those people, or it's a really great look for days where you really only have like 5 minutes to get ready. I know in the mornings when I get ready for work, I'm not about to spend 15 minutes on my makeup getting ready. I would rather be sleeping. So this look is perfect for those types of scenarios, and I'm just going to go ahead and walk you through how to get a really nice, natural, pretty face. You always want to begin by moisturizing your skin. I already have mine on, and I am using the Ahava Time to Hydrate Essential Day Moisturizer. I am going to be using the Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturizer on my face, and this does have an SPF 20, and I am going to be using it in the shade Nude, which matches really nicely with my skin tone. I would also recommend BB creams, any other brand of tinted moisturizer, the Urban Decay Naked Skin Foundation. Those would all be good for a very light look where you won't feel like you're wearing too much makeup. Now, using my hands, I am just going to start working this into my face. And like I mentioned before, this just gives you a very light coverage. So if you were looking for something with a little more coverage, that's when I would kind of go towards something more like the Urban Decay Naked Skin Foundation. Just go ahead and keep working this into your skin until you have nice and even coverage. And I don't know if you noticed before I put this on, but I tend to be a little red through my nose and cheeks. And even this light coverage does a pretty good job of covering up that redness, which is really nice. Once you have on your tinted moisturizer or foundation, the next area of your face I would suggest addressing would be your brows. Now, as you can see, I have nothing on my brows right now, and they are pretty thick, full, and pretty defined. I do have some sparse spots, but for an everyday look, I don't really mind that. So all I would suggest doing if you're like me is just kind of brushing through your brows a little bit. Use a little brow gel if your brows can be a little unruly, and that should be perfectly fine. Now, if you're someone who has much more sparse brows, I would suggest filling them in a little bit, but don't go too over the top. Follow your natural brow shape and you should be perfectly fine. So like I said, I'm just going to go ahead and brush through my brows a little bit. Just make sure the hairs aren't sticking out and going everywhere. And this looks perfectly fine for me for kind of just an everyday run out the door look. Moving on to our eyes, I am going to use a little bit of an eye primer all over my eyelids. If you are someone who has oily eyelids, and I definitely do, I highly suggest using an eye primer even for an everyday look, because the look of creasing shadows on your eyes just looks, it's not a good look. So I definitely recommend a primer, but if you know you don't need one, then you can go ahead and skip this step. So I am just taking a little bit of my Lorac Behind the Scenes eye primer and just pushing this all over my eyelid and any residual up towards my brow bone. And this will just help hold the shadow in place for me, and I won't have to worry about that pesky creasing that we often experience. So just quickly put that all over my eyelids. Once your eyes are all primed, it's time to move on to a shadow. And I think using a creamy shadow is really great if you just want to throw something on quick and look very natural. So I am going to be using this Maybelline Color Tattoo, and this is in the color Barely Beige, which was actually limited edition from fall. But the good news is they just came out with a metals line, and it has a very similar beige color. Now go ahead and pick up just a little bit of that cream shadow on your finger and just start to lightly press it onto your eyelid. And this will just kind of brighten up that area and add a little shimmer. And it's super easy. You don't even need a brush for this, which is what I love, because when you're running out the door, you don't want to be bothered with a lot of tools, that type of stuff. And just kind of pat it in. And you can build it up as much or as little as you're comfortable with. But I think just a little bit, and then kind of pat it out up into your crease. Just adds kind of like the right amount of shimmer, and it looks a little nicer than just your bare eyelid. This next step can be optional, but I highly suggest it because I think it really helps frame and define the eyes. And I'm going to be using my Naked Basics palette, and I am going to be using the color right here, which is Naked 2. And this color actually happens to also be in the Naked 2 palette. So if you have that, perfect. If not, really any kind of matte crease color that you have would work fine. I'm going to pick up a little bit of Naked 2 on a tapered blending brush and just run this through the crease of my eye. And this is a very light color, so you don't have to be too careful, but it's gonna really help add some definition to our eyes, which I think is really important. Next, you're gonna wanna go ahead and curl your eyelashes. Now, I know this may seem a little more kind of an advanced step for someone who doesn't really like to wear makeup, but it can make all the difference, especially if your lashes kind of grow straight out. Some people are super lucky and they have nice curly lashes naturally. Mine are kind of in between. I have some friends who their lashes really need a good curl to stand out. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this. You can skip it if you want, but I think it really helps define the eyes when we put the mascara on. Just go ahead and do 2 or 3 little pumps. Now I'm going to go ahead and use some mascara. I am going to be using a black mascara, and I am using the Clump Crusher mascara from CoverGirl. But if you are fair skinned, have lighter hair, and you want to use a brown mascara to have a little bit more of a natural look, go ahead and do that. I just always use black, and I have pretty dark hair and lashes, so this will be fine for me. And just go ahead and apply a nice light coat to your lashes. Again, we're not looking to have a super dramatic lash look, but we do want them to stand out a little bit. I am just kind of putting a little bit of the mascara, whatever was left on the wand, down onto my bottom lashes. And hopefully you can tell, but adding the mascara to this eye really opens up my eyes nicely. So I think mascara is a very important step, and I think most of you will agree with me. For blush, I am using this Rimmel blush, and it is in the color Autumn Catwalk, which I believe was limited edition, but Rimmel has really nice blushes, and one that is very kind of natural and everyday is in their color Santa Rose, so you can look for that at the store. And then I'm just gonna sweep this onto my cheeks. Final step is going to be lips, and I am using a Makeup Forever Lab Shine, and this is in the color S2. It's a very sheer peach. We really just want to add some shine to our lips. And we are done. This is everything I would do for just kind of a quick, out the door, very natural, everyday look. If you're someone who is scared of makeup or isn't really that into it, I think this is just enough that it kind of brightens up your face, brings out your natural beauty, and just looks really gorgeous. Now, I want to amp it up just a little bit. So maybe you've done this, you feel really comfortable, and you get like invited out for a date, or your friends are like, hey, let's go get dinner. And you might want to add just a little bit for a night. So I am gonna go ahead and show you a few more steps to kind of amp this up a little bit while still not being so dramatic that you're gonna feel uncomfortable. Going back to my Naked Basics palette, I'm gonna be using these 2 colors here. This one in Faint and this one in Crave. On your tapered blending brush, pick up a little bit of Faint, which is a little darker than the crease color we used before, and just go ahead and gently work that into your crease. And it's going to darken it up just a little bit, which is really nice for evening. Now, if you compare my eyes already, this one looks a little bit more defined, even a little more smoky by just adding a little bit more of a darker color to the crease. Now on a small angled brush, I am using the 266 from MAC. I'm going to be picking up just a little bit of that black color Crave, which is a matte black color, and make sure you tap off any excess on the brush because you don't want fallout. And I am going to go ahead and just start pushing this very tightly in against my lash line. By pushing this dark color into your lash line with a small angled brush, it will give you that kind of eyeliner effect without being as harsh. So I definitely recommend this trick if you're someone who's new into makeup or afraid of having too much on. Now the last few steps are really quick. I am gonna take a little bit of brow powder now that I wanna amp this up a little bit and just start dragging this through my brows. And I'm not looking to create any different shape. I just wanna fill in any spots that are a little sparse, which for me is through my arch. I am using the NYX Eyebrow Cake Powder in the Taupe Ash combo, and I am using the darker of the colors. And if you're kind of new to filling in your brows, if you have dark hair like me, the general rule of thumb is to go 1 to 2 colors lighter than your hair color, and if you are fair and blonde, 1 to 2 colors darker. Assuming we are kind of jazzing up our day makeup, we may have had a long day at work and we're looking a little tired. So I'm gonna take a little bit of concealer, and I am using the Bobbi Brown Creamy Concealer, and just pat a little bit of this to our under eye area. And this is gonna help conceal that kind of tired look or any bags under our eyes. Now the final step is you can go ahead and add another coat of mascara. And this will make your lashes stand out a little bit more. And this is my completed, everyday, natural, person who doesn't really like makeup look. That was long. Anyway, of course, now this is my kind of fancied up version, but as you saw before, this is something that is super customizable. You can use whatever steps you liked, make it, less of a makeup look, follow the steps at the end to make it more of a makeup look, and just take it to your comfort level. I really hope you guys like this video. Let me know if you want to see more makeup looks that are a little more subdued and great for every day. Maybe a few that incorporate a little more color as you get used to wearing more makeup, and I would love to do them for you. Like this video down below if you've liked it. Leave me comments. I love to hear feedback from you guys. As always, be sure to click that subscribe button so you can make sure you catch all my latest videos, and I will be seeing you all with a new video soon. Bye!